What's up, and welcome back to Talking Nutrition. We are back with another client interview, which I haven't done in a minute, and I want to start doing those again because I think what's very important here is that I don't just talk about processes and how to get you results, but also share real stories of real people, right? Our actual clients, and kind of like how they experience going through fat loss phases and doing extended periods of maintenance, which we'll talk about today as well. But right, Eirik, for example, who I'll talk to, he's lost more than 15 kilos and has also kept it off for 3 months, and he's now into his second fat loss round. So we need to understand, like, hey, there's going to be those phases too. And what I think is really cool about Eirik's story is that he's created the results by eating more than what he used to. He used to eat way little. Of course, there are certain habits that we worked on, and we'll get into that. But we are still currently at a higher intake compared to what he came to me at. So that's something we'll explore today. Please do me a massive favor. If you enjoyed these episodes, drop us a quick rating on Spotify or Apple. It takes like 10 seconds and actually really does a whole lot for us as the show. But most importantly, as you listen to this podcast, as you listen to this episode specifically, think, okay, like how would it apply to me? And also notice the work ethic that Eirik has, and also notice the things he brings up, because you'll see things like being busy, having a busy schedule, having stress, sometimes sleeping too little, all that stuff. He's gone through as well, and he's created the results. He's still made it work. So use him as an example, use him as inspiration, because, and we'll talk about this in the episode too, but it's like, hey, when you see everyday people like Eirik and like myself, right, actually create results and actually be able to long-term kind of keep it off and stuff, you'll notice and realize like, hey, I could probably do this too. So use it as fuel for your journey, and do me a massive favor after having listened to this podcast. Like I said before, if you could help us by dropping a quick rating, that would mean the world. But for now, let's dive in. Another client interview. Enjoy. What's up? How are you, man?
Hi, I'm good, fine. You?
Good, dude. Just came back. Thanks for allowing me to kind of push the podcast 15 minutes. Just
problem.
came back from the airport. How's it going? Busy Monday?
Very busy. I'm headed for a handball match when we are done. Going to be a coach there, so my schedule is kind of full.
Yeah.
Two.
It always is.
Yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah, it always is. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll definitely talk about that today as well, because the reason I want to bring you on the podcast is I've seen you create really good results with a busy schedule, with way more of a basic normal approach. And what we were just talking about off air is like you've actually been eating more, especially in terms of volume, right? So I want to share that and really just kind of share your experience, because I think sometimes we post the before and afters as well and try to write a story, but I could talk about it, but it's even better to share your story kind of like from your point of view, because I think a lot of people will struggle with things like a busy schedule, traveling, different kind of days. So that's why I wanted to bring you on. But yeah, dude, like before we jump in, let's actually just start with kind of who you are, so the listener kind of understands like who they're listening to, like what do you do?
Yeah. Well, I work at a music store, which also is a sound install company, which me and two friends have built up. So that's really busy. A lot of work all the time, as you hear. My phone is calling. And also a handball coach for two teams, a women team and 14 to 16-year-old girls team. Then I'm also singing in a rock band as a singer. Not that much, but on my spare time. And then I do this. Try to get control of my eating and my training, and being guided by you. That's basically what my days are about. Yeah.
So you would say the fitness part. Yeah, fair enough. So the fitness part is definitely a big thing of what you do as well recently, right?
Yeah.
Or your focus.
I try to. I always trained a lot. I've been a handball player before, not on a high level, but I was playing handball my whole youth. And after that, I've trained as well while I studied, and also when I'm working here, I always pushed some weights or done something. So I'm into training, but now it's more like put into a system. So every morning starts by going to the gym. Not lifting every day, but if it's cardio or if it's lifting or yeah. So try to just make the habit of getting out of bed at the same time, going to training and start the day like that. Find that easier than to do it every second day as I did before, because you're always tired because you don't kind of the day you're trained, you stay in the coach too long, and yeah, next day you're tired, and yeah, you don't get the sleep in, and so by getting the routine there, the sleep came as well, because it just gets there. I'm tired at 10, 11, I'm hitting the bed and done. So that kind of solved that problem, making my sleep go up and getting the hours of sleep, which was one of the points you right from the start pointed at, that you're sleeping too little. So that fixed that mainly. And also the routine of training, hard at the start. But now it's like, if I don't get that routine, I'm like feeling that the rest of the day. I'm restless and yeah, need to get some energy out.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
I guess I'm gonna continue with that because I like it. it's a good feeling. So
Yeah.
and it's a good start on the day. Yeah.
Yeah,
Not for everyone.
absolutely. I mean, you're right. Like, it's maybe not for everyone to go to the gym every single day. You pointed out a good point, though. You're like, hey, I'm not lifting every single day. Sometimes we just do cardio, right? Some low intensity cardio. But I think you mentioned like the word already, like systems, right? Like, that's the main thing. We want to create the systems and the routines to kind of make something a habit. Just be able to, hey, actually, now I am getting enough sleep in. And of course, that's going to play into overall motivation, your results, and all that, and even eating, food decisions that we make, and just keeping that routine in, or at least doing something active every day, for example.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be like a full workout. It just makes it easier because it's way more clear. It's like in your schedule, you kind of know, when to prepare. And yeah, that's a big one because especially with the sleep in the beginning, did you expect that to be addressed kind of going into this?
No, not at all. That was one of the surprises when you told me that. Yeah, well, you're sleeping too little, dude. And it wasn't. I know that 45 hours were kind of normal for longer periods, and that drains you, obviously. But I didn't think so. But now I really feel it. If I don't get my 7 hours of sleep, I will feel it. I feel my energy is lower. So it's it's kind of all of this sleep and training and the systems, as you say, do work. And the result is that I'm feeling that I'm tired if I don't sleep enough. I feel I need to get rid of energy if I don't hit my steps or hit the gym or whatever. And it's I've been at this 9 month now, 10 month, something like that.
Yeah, just a lot. Yeah.
It's now by now it's not it's just something I do, and it's just the way it is supposed to be. It's kind of changed the way I don't think about it anymore. It's not a stress part. It's not something I have to schedule for. It's just I'm going to the gym. That's the start of the day. Don't think about it any more than that, and pack my bag in the nighttime and go. And yeah, so for me the system is making it easy. For me, systems are important because I like to work in systems, which is kind of square. I've been in the army. I like the army. So systems are good and systems are easy to follow for me. So I think that is one of the main reasons that this is going very good. Well, is the systems I got the systems and I just follow them.
I feel like that maybe even translates because you've been in the army. I mean, I've seen you execute, like you're really good at just kind of like following up on, I don't want to say orders like in this scenario, but but you know what I mean, though? Like
Yeah.
following up on, recommendations, suggestions, and then of course in the army setting, there will be actual orders. But like
Yeah.
I've seen you execute, and I mean that's if we have that combination, like if you execute, I can guide you through that. Like I mean, we've gotten the results, and we're still going now, but I think that's something that is often overlooked, maybe. And I wanted to mention this actually because sure, we talk about specific, nutritional strategies and lifestyle and sleep and all that, but we can create the perfect plan, but but if we don't stick to it, right? As the person who actually wants to lose the weight or build the muscle, whatever it is, like if we don't make a point of trying to really stick to it as good as we can, and then of course, troubleshoot when we need to, that perfect plan is still not going to do anything.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the motivation going into this was quite big for me, or high, a better English word. I had a high motivation going into this.
Yeah.
I was ready to do this. Been thinking about it for years, I guess. Doing something about the issues I had. And when you came up with a solution, which in the start, this can't be true, because when you gave me the first food targets, I was at home making food, and this is insane. It's so much, and I was recalculating it and weighing it again and looking up in my telephone. This can't be true. It's so much food. And then you say, yeah, that's the amount I never eat more. I never eat more than since I met you. so that was a great thing, because I thought I was gonna eat a lot less, and here I am eating more than ever,
Yeah.
and still losing weight, which is kind of something that surprised me as much as the sleep. I guess the sheer amount of food was the biggest surprise of them all. So yeah,
So
but happy for that. Yeah.
yeah, I was thinking about this too because there's kind of two scenarios when I experience that with clients. Like one, we've either been eating more calories but more calorie dense food, right?
Mhm.
So we gained weight because we ate more calories, but it was more calorie dense, more processed food. So that's scenario one. And then I also have people who actually come to us actually really under eating and have been on very low calories for a long time. Um, Now thinking back, like which one do you think it might have been for you? Sometimes it's hard to really know.
I actually think under eating calories is
Okay,
my
yeah,
thing, because I've been thinking about getting slimmer most of my grown up life. Had an issue with that, being a big guy. So I guess eating less is always a thinking, and always a thought. You have to eat less. So I think actually under eating is
yeah,
has been my problem.
yeah,
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 yeah, think so.
yeah, yeah. Because I think it's often a surprising thing to do, to where you come in, you're like, hey, I want to lose weight. No, that was your goal for a long time.
Hmm.
Um, and then you come in, it's like, oh, okay, let's eat more. Hey, let's actually spend. It's like you don't expect that. It's like, hey, let's eat
No,
more. Let's actually go up here first to see how you respond. And how did you experience? So obviously, like we know that was a lot of food for you. You also had to get used to that. The unfortunate thing in that situation is sometimes we just have to deal with it and then go through it, and then we will see and realize, which is that makes it hard also. But how did you experience that? Other than that, it was obviously a lot of food. Like, did you feel like were you not sure how to, like how to see it?
my,
Like, does it make sense? Is it right? Or
my first reaction was that you're crazy, and this can't be true. Is this a bullshit? What is this bullshit? That this is too much food. That was my first thought, and I was starting to eat this because you told me to eat it, and I was just okay. I'm gonna follow, but okay. I was like, this can't be true, and but okay, I have to follow it and just try it out. When I first said yes, let's go. I have to follow it and see where this takes me. Um, but I was really skeptical, and I was like, this can't be the right stuff. Didn't feel right. When you read about how to get down, to lose weight, it's less food, more exercise, eat ananas, pineapples, or eat what this or that, or yeah. But it was the kind of this sheer amount of food was enormous, and I was stuffing in. I was so stuffed and full. I was like, no. But the cool thing about it is, even now that I'm on a cut now, and the amount of food, I'm not that hungry. And I've thought a lot about it, and it's the quality of the food is, of course, one point of it, that you have to eat your potatoes and full grain and stuff like that, but also that having the feeling of being full and having enough food takes away the craving for chocolate and the small visit to the refrigerator for a snack, or every time you get up from the coach to go to the bathroom, you take a trip to buy the fridge and see if there's something good here. And then at the end of the night, I'm still hungry. That was before, and then I stuffed in bread or whatever and ate a big meal. I don't do that anymore. I don't have that need, and I also have my food portioned out through the day. So when I have the last meal, that's more than enough. I go to bed really full and happy, and don't have the craving. And that's the fun part, taking away the craving, because I think craving is under eating, then getting cravings, and then eat stuff you shouldn't eat. I think that was my problem. Kind of sums it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's big changes. And
yeah. I think that's something I see with a lot of people too, where, okay, we've been conditioned to think, okay, it needs to be less and less and less. And then you do more cardio, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
So we're conditioned to think, okay, less and less and less. Then we end up with the cravings. We tend to overdo it in the evening or the weekends, whatever it is, and keep spinning your wheels.
Yeah.
So before this, kind of like, did you try any specific like diet or something, or did you kind of just try to make some changes on your own?
No, I'm not tried diets. It's just been cutting food, and trying to exercise more. That's been my way to go. Lifting weights. I put on a lot of kilos. But going to the gym, I really put on a lot of kilos fast. Preferable muscle amount growing, but so I kind of used that as and thought that, well, that fixes the problem. But the first weighing I had with you, I thought I was at 115 kilos, and then I had my weighing, and the result was quite higher. I was kind of shocked, because I was certain I weighed around 115, but that also came as a shock, as that was like, oh, this can't be true, and that is with that thought of if you push weights, I eat less, I try to do some cardio. I'm not that happy doing cardio, getting more used to it, and now I'm happy doing it. Cardio doesn't mean you have to run. Cardio also can be walking, fast walking, stuff like that, which I do love more. I can run if there is a ball I have to chase, but kind of playing handball, doing stuff like that. But just to run is not for me. But that is possible to go around. Yeah. So yeah. I lost my point there, but yeah. Kind of lost the point on the all over here, but yeah.
No,
yeah.
I do remember that, like, because we started, you were like, hey, I thought my weight was like 115, ended up being much higher, and I also remember too, like, hey, like, either way though, like, we're gonna work on that, and I think it was Do you remember the number it ended up being in the beginning, or
Yeah, it was 130 when I started.
130? Yeah.
I think we have 127 or 29 in the sheet, but the first weighing I did was 130 kilos.
Okay, 130. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
So obviously, so that's of course not the average weight, but yeah, still. So the fact, because I want to kind of explain to the listener too. So the fact that we came from like lower calories from your food diary and stuff, we actually brought you up, and I actually just pulled it up now. So I think we started around like 1850. You kind of, that was the food diary. We brought it up to like 2200, 2300. However, your weight already dropped like right away
yeah,
over the course of those first weeks. So I do want to mention this to people because sure, it's maybe sometimes weird when you go into something like this where it's like, hey, like actually like you're supposed to be losing weight around here. Let's go there first, kind of see how you respond, even if that's more food, like in your case. But then you ended up just losing weight and you kept losing weight. So it's like, okay, like we've dialed things in. We can basically move into fat loss right away as we're still working on routines and stuff. But again, right, that eating more, it's something that sometimes we need to kind of go through, like you said, like you did it, right? That's the biggest thing. You actually did it. You were open to trying something new, which was not what you expect. But then your weight dropped like instantly.
yeah,
And then that first phase, we already dropped like 15 kilos, right? That first cut.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We did.
Which, first of all, is an incredible achievement. So congrats, right?
Thanks.
But yeah, it's a lot of hard work. Let's be honest. It's never fun to cut. You know what I mean?
No, but it's very motivational when you see that
Mm-hmm.
the scale is dropping every week, and that kind of keeps you motivated to go through it and say no to the beer or the party, or not saying no to the party, because I still join the party, but I don't drink as much or don't drink at all. Small stuff, nothing that is too hard to go through. You think about it a lot, this is going to be hard, but when you actually do it, it's not that hard. So just taking a decision and stick with it, and when you then get the motivation from the scale every day, it kind of motivates me. At least me, I'm getting very motivated by seeing the scale is dropping, and also getting a lot of feedback from people around me, and that's not on my size. That's not what the feedback I'm after, but it's more that my mood is getting better. I'm a nicer guy to be around. My stress level is going down. Stuff like that. I'm not as stressed as I was. So there's a lot of change due to eating correctly, sleeping enough, getting nutrition in. Feeling good about yourself. I think that is the main thing. Feeling good about yourself, and actually feeling the effect of doing something good for yourself. I think that is really important.
Yeah, exactly. It's the fact that you said it exactly, like that's exactly what it is. You do something for yourself, and that translates. It translates into how you show up for others. And then of course, energy levels and all that stuff, and more nutrients, and getting the right foods in. That also, again, it translates into that. But it's like the doing something for yourself, right? It's such a big one. And if you then show up as a better person, great, even better.
That's the bonuses here. Yeah, getting a better mood. Oh, that people at work here, especially, it says that my mood is better. I don't explode as easily. I'm a much better guy to be around, and that's fun to hear. But that's good to hear as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you get this. Since you're feeling better, since your body responds better to everything, it's easier to work out. Everything is getting easier. Then you got these insane ideas like I do that I think I'm going to want to play handball again. I'm way too old for that, but hey, let's give it a try. I really want to because it's really fun. But we'll see if that is possible. But yeah, when you're feeling good, yeah, you want to do stuff. so. We'll see if that is possible, but yeah, it's out there. I'm going to go for it and see if I can actually do it again.
Yeah. And I think that's so cool because now you feel better and you feel more fit. And also for the listener, a little bit of context, right? We've done a 3 month maintenance phase now. So we did the first fat loss phase. We did maintenance for 3 months, and now we're just about 6 weeks into the second cut.
Mm.
Already down just about 5.5 kilos or so. So we're responding super well. Um, so round two is already off to a good start. But going back to what you just mentioned, it's like when you then start to see also fitness, energy, you can move your body better. We're building
Mm.
some muscle. We're getting fitter. It's like, hey, let me actually pick that thing up again that I really enjoy doing.
Yeah.
So first of all, also just to put it on air, like I think you absolutely should do it. I should try. But like it's fun because now you challenge yourself in like new ways, and
Mm.
that's also very healthy because I think we need to keep doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. During the last couple of years, I've put myself through stuff that I never thought I was going to put myself through, which is making. This is one thing of them. This taking care of myself, getting weight loss, getting more fit. That is one part of it. Another part that I said yes to, under a whole bunch of pressure from friends, was to sing in this band that I'm singing in, and never been a guy that wants to stand on the stage. I kind of die when I'm going up there, but doing it, it's the same thing. Just doing it and experience it, you grow on it, and you want to do more stuff. When you break some um, boundaries, you want to break more boundaries, and build new stuff or do new stuff. And I think that's also very important here, that if you do this for yourself, if you start doing the right stuff for your body, you also want to break other boundaries because you see that this is possible to do, and you get wild on these, and start doing stuff you wouldn't do. Yeah, because you have to have some positive. When you do stuff and you get positive results, well, you want to do more of it. That's kind
Yeah.
of what I'm trying to say. Yeah, and you have to
I
find new
think,
stuff to do that is new.
yeah, absolutely. And I think that's important. I think it's important to do things that we don't necessarily see ourselves do or put ourselves out there. And that could be fitness, could be anything else, right? It could be
Yeah,
getting on stage, it could be so many things. I think it's so healthy and important for us to do that because we continuously show ourselves, like, hey, I can actually do this uncomfortable thing. I can actually grow. I can actually do the thing I actually told myself I couldn't, you know?
yeah,
So
yeah,
you break those self-limiting beliefs to where now like all these new doors kind of open.
yeah,
And I
yeah.
think that's such a cool thing. And that's how this whole health and fitness thing translates into other
Other
things in
things.
life to where we get more confidence, we're more willing to try new things. And I think that's so cool to see.
Yeah. So I'm really happy, and I'm enjoying this ride at the moment. I'm really enjoying the ride. Even though I'm on a cut, I'm enjoying the ride because
Yeah.
it's still a lot of food. So I'm I think I mentioned that to you after the first cut. We had that conversation after the first cut where you called me, and you asked me like, how did this work out for you? And I said, well, I don't think I've been hungry at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, you feel that you're getting drained for energy. You feel that the body's responding, but that hungry? No, no, not being hungry.
Did you
So
get
that
any
was kind of
surprising? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
no. That was kind of surprising when you're joining up for a program to get lose fat. You always think, oh my god, I'm gonna get hungry, and how am I gonna cope with this being hungry all the time? And actually, I'm not hungry all the time at all, and that for me is one of the biggest things here. You don't have to be hungry at all. If you eat
Yeah.
correctly, it's enough. And yeah, you feel your body is getting a bit too little, so that your energy levels are kind of dropping a little bit, but it's not that bad as I imagine it would be at
Yeah.
all. Not at all.
Yeah, because that was actually my question. I was like, Did you get any comments or like questions from other people? Because I mean, like people obviously see you change both physically and like in how you show up. Did you get any
Yeah.
questions in terms of, hey, what are you changing, or is it a diet or whatever? Or
Yeah, people are curious, of course, of what I'm doing and why I'm that stubborn on not eating cake, not drinking that beer, not yeah, stuff like that. And I'm getting have gotten to a point where I'm comfortable talking about it. I wasn't too comfortable talking about it, but now it's like I don't care. Yeah, well, I'm doing this, and I'm doing this for myself. And they want to know the background. It's okay. Been too heavy for many years. Been stressed. Had a lot of medical issues coming in, like high blood pressure, ulcer, and everything that follows being stressed and overweight and sleeping too little. Also, everything was hitting me, and I just had to do something about it. And that's where I'm at. And they're asking me a lot, and then always the thing is, feedback is, I'm not sure I can do that. And I was like, well, what are you not sure you can do? No, I'm meeting friends, and let's take alcohol for once, and it's easy to. I want to drink alcohol when I meet friends. Yeah, but you can drink alcohol when you meet friends. It's a question about moderation, or how often do you meet friends to drink alcohol, but it's a mindset, and it's as I told this person, well, I'm saying no to alcohol because I want to go and to bed and being full tonight. If I drink alcohol, I'm still hungry when I come home if I'm going to count the calories. So, well, I don't. I'll take water. I
yeah,
want food. So that's my choice. But you can do both. You can drink alcohol. You can have fun. You can eat that cake or whatever it is. It's just the sheer amount and how often. And as I said, the cravings disappear when you eat correctly. So the cravings I had for chocolate, I'm a guy for chocolate. I love beer. Well, it disappears. It is not that I don't like beer anymore because I still really love beer, but I don't have that craving. So
yeah, and I
so
think it's a season also. You know, there's gonna be times where, hey, if it's fat loss, like it does come with some trade-offs, but then
yep,
I mean, we talked about this today. It's like we make these changes now, so we'll get the maximum result out of this phase. And hey,
yeah,
if you go on, you've gone on trips with the band,
yeah,
right? Where you had shows, you had some beer, and we accommodate for that. But that's on on a micro scale, big picture. Hey, like we have seasons with a little bit more trade-offs and more sacrifice. But then when you do that, you get better results. We can also move out of that cut again, reintroduce calories, and guess what? Now we can be more flexible again.
yeah.
It's still moderation. Like it's still, hey, mostly healthy foods, right?
Mm.
Still at least trying to not overdo the alcohol and stuff. But there are times where we can actually do that way more easily. And I mean, how much worth is it then to have gone through the period of restriction, let's call it, right? Because that's what it is,
Yep.
for the time being, to then get the results and then actually be able to be flexible after again.
The, for me, that hasn't been a problem. So the fun part about that conversation which I was talking about is that it ends up with yourself and what you are willing to do for yourself, and you just have to do it. And that's kind of my motto: just do it. And moderation is not as hard as you think. I think it's a much more of a mindset that change is difficult. Is in your head, and when you actually just do it, it's not that hard. I think every it's like quitting smoking. It's so much focus on how hard it is. But have you actually done it or tried it? I quit snus, which is a Norwegian thing. I don't know how many abroad knows what that is, but it's a tobacco product, and it was actually much easier than I thought. But when you read about it, it's like quitting heroin, but it's not. It's not,
Yeah.
but it seems like that when you read what's in the papers and stuff about how hard it is to quit, and you need all this help, and you need all this and all that, but just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's easier than you think.
Yeah. I had the same thing with cigarettes back in 2012. I had tried it in the past and it was difficult back then, but it was because I didn't want to do it.
Yeah, yeah,
Then in 2012, I was like, because it got more and more, I was like, I gotta stop. It's getting out of hand. And because I actually wanted it and just focus on just the actual not doing, in that case, after 2 weeks, it was fine.
yeah,
The initial, like, there's a bit of friction. It's always,
yeah.
but afterwards, it was normal. And then I had heard people talk about it being, I quit smoking like 5, 10 years ago, whatever, and I would still like to get a cigarette. They still
Mm,
get that feeling. I'm
mm,
like, okay. So I feel like we're more focused in this case on, like you said, how hard things are, or like how much are we missing out on.
yeah,
First, hey, what are the benefits? What am I actually doing? And that's so huge. And I think sometimes we need to focus on that, or the benefits.
yeah, yeah,
What am I
yeah,
getting out of this instead of what am I giving up for this, right?
yeah. Still love the smell of snus. Open a fresh box of that. It's like, oh, it smells so good. But I don't have any cravings for it in my daily life, and I don't buy it, so no problem. So, but yeah, but yeah, what benefits will you get out of quitting? Focus on that instead of all the problems. Quitting. I think yeah. The
Yeah.
same thing with food. Same thing with training. Same thing with all. What's the benefits I'll get out of this? And suddenly you actually love the change, or love this, or love the way to the change. The route there is actually enjoyable, if I can use that word. But the experience is actually much better than you think and what you fear. The joy of seeing the changes, getting the results, getting stuff done, far outweighs the negative stuff. I think so. The journey there is tolerable and it's doable. And as all other, you heard this before, and then you're like, oh, if I can do it, you can do it. But it's like when you hear people say that, it's like, oh, fuck you. but yeah, if I can do it, you can do it. Yeah, because I'm not a Superman or anything. It's I'm just a normal guy with a hectic schedule, with a lot on my plate. But it's doable. It's absolutely doable.
Yeah. I mean, I'll back that up because same for me, right? Because sure, we all have our own struggles and whatever,
Yeah,
but I made it work also a long time ago, and I hope it's still, lost a bunch of weight. I'm also a normal dude. And
yeah,
it's like sometimes I don't think we give ourselves credit enough sometimes for like what we're able to achieve, or we don't see it, or we don't believe it yet, which is why we just have to prove it, right?
yeah,
But dude, 100%. Like, and that's why I want to bring you on a podcast too. It's like, hey, like, we're real people creating real results, but we're also
yeah,
really dealing with like really busy schedules and actual things, roadblocks to overcome. You still made it work. You still make it happen, even with a busy schedule and stress and
yeah.
even travel and all that.
Yep. So I had one big what's it called? I was already exercising when I started this. That was my one big thing for me. I was already lifting weights. I already loved being active, not being active enough, but I love being active. I do like to work out. That was one major good start for me. That when you say, hey, you have to lift weights, yeah, that's not the problem. How much? and so that was a good thing for me. I don't know other people that has to start with that as well. That is also probably a big change. All that walking, all those steps was a kind of change for me. Not that big, but yeah, I think that was in my favor. Then I actually enjoyed being active and being a coach as well. Yeah, or used to being around active people. So it's kind of yeah. it's not, that wasn't hard. So that was good for me. But all the rest of the stuff, well, I'm just like everybody else. I do like my beer. I do like my chocolate. I do like living a good life. Yeah. So and I still am living the good life, just with the smaller amounts of chocolate and beer, and it doesn't hurt at all. That's kind of it's kind of uh, uh, the fun part of it is it's so easy now saying no to stuff which you couldn't say no to before. It's like it, and that change is actually quite fantastic
Yeah.
to see now. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, amazing
fun
work,
to
man.
see.
Yeah, I think again, I have to give you the credit for the work ethic, and you showed up just being willing to take action and execute. I mean, we're more than 15 kilos down now. I think it's like 15
Yeah,
centimeters lost around the waist as well as around the chest. I mean, crazy results. Still being able to have some of the fun stuff in moderation, right?
yeah, yeah.
Um, and you actually enjoy the process, which is a big one. Like you see it as a positive thing, and I think that's huge.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, yeah. I've enjoyed it so far. So I'm looking forward to see the results and how the result is after this cut. That's what I'm looking forward to. And yeah, and then and the life afterwards is also exciting. How to stay where we at and not gaining again. Uh, that's new. That's a part which is exciting for the future.
Yeah,
Uh, I don't think I think that is going to be doable as well. But that's yeah,
yeah,
going back to normal. Yeah,
yeah,
that's going to be cool.
yeah. I mean, knowing how well your maintenance phase went before the second fat loss phase, like I'm sure you're gonna be fine there. It's exciting. It's true because, and then I want to also because I want to be respectful of your time. I know you got a coach today, so, but the thing is too, like at some point, like we're gonna hit a spot where you're basically gonna be kind of done with the weight loss, right?
Yeah,
To where you then get to a point where anything beyond that, because we've done the weight loss for the health benefits and all that, we get to a
mm,
healthy body fat percentage. It then changes from, hey, there's like a clear health benefit here, to, hey, if I want now, I can do some muscle gain and cutting, etc.
yeah, yeah,
But then it's because you want to, and not because you need to, and it's a way different place to be. And
yeah.
then the big focus on weight loss is just going to be kind of out of the way, which is really nice to get to.
I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be fun, and when we can start working on what we want to do, not what we need to do.
Yeah,
That's going to be a good. That's going to be a good place to
good.
be.
Yeah, 100%. Dude,
Yeah.
thank you so much for coming on, and thanks for your
Thank you
time.
for having me. No problem. Thank you for having me. It's fun being here.
Of course. Let's let's do a recap in a couple months from now, like ones where, I think that would be cool.
Yeah, no problem. Let's do that. Let's do that.
Awesome. I'll talk to you soon. And to our listener, thank you for listening. As always, feel free to drop us a quick rating and or review on Spotify or Apple, and then we'll talk again soon.